Alright, hello everyone, this is Crota giving you game 1 in a series versus Nerchio versus Monchi here on Shakura's Plateau. Nerchio spawning as the red Zerg here at what I'll call the 7 o'clock position. Meanwhile, ESC's Monchi spawning here as the green Protoss. So Protoss versus Zerg on Shakura's Plateau. I do believe this does have the latest updates with the No, it doesn't have the latest update with the Overlord movement speed the the range upgrade. So this is kind of strange. I've been casting a lot of games. I cast over the weekend at the MSI Battlegrounds with Day 9, Gwen, and Thundertossed. A great event. Got a lot more casting experience. Got to pick Day 9's brain a little bit. Also, just working with some really talented people out there, and it was a lot of fun. Finally, casting back up on a normal size machine as opposed to a 15-inch laptop monitor I actually get to see on a 22-inch, and things look a little bit larger. Alright, strategies coming into play, strategies going down. We are going to have a probe now simply come up the ramp here, take a look around. I wanted to talk about the changes to Zerg. In particular, the queen changed from 3 range to 5. I may do a replay analysis of a couple of games that were from MSI Battlegrounds. Let me know if you want to see them. I'm also going to be doing some coverage of Diablo 3, not Warcraft 3. I already do my Warcraft 3 coverage. Alright, probe now making its way down the ramp. And, oh, Nerchio saying luck on that probe being able to escape. I believe it was MacGyver who said, I'd rather be lucky than good. Now, if you guys know who MacGyver is, hats off to you, because, yeah, I think I just dated myself a little bit there. Forge now being placed down. Monchi most likely going for that Forge fast expansion. Can't imagine anything else that he could be going for. Meanwhile, a drone now coming up the ramp. Oh, gets blocked. Oh, Monchi needs to place down that pylon, and that's one of the problems with shift clicking. If the drone does end up right in that position, it just blocks it, and then the probe goes back to work like, oh, I can't do what I need to do. I'll just go back to work, and that probe is then very far away. I like this play by Monchi. Monchi's like, you know what, I'll set up the drone here, and there's really not much you can do at all. Probe now coming back down. We should be able to get a nexus. Yes, there is that nexus there, and here we go. Hatchery is coming into play down in this position. Zerglings are going to try it and test the map. They're not going to get very far, though. There's already that photon cannon. It takes 2 shots for the photon cannon to take down a Zergling. Usually you can take down 1 to 2 Zerglings as they're trying to do that run by. And with 2 shots, that pretty much shuts down any sort of play. We are going to see Nerchio, though, go for a very quick double hatchery here at 22 supply. Pretty standard, and Nerchio feeling perhaps very confident in this build, going for very heavy drones, and then perhaps just wanting to get up to maximum 200 supply as quickly as possible. But then again, yes, it is the point of StarCraft 2 in order to get max supply, but it's not getting there, it's the journey there. It's the path, it's destination, it's how you get there. It's easy to get up to 200 supply on just pure roaches, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're gonna win the game. Overlord now on the high ground here. We do see, 1 photon cannon, a gateway, and that forge. Monchi now should be able to double train up some probes, but Nerchio is going to just absolutely explode with his production in just a moment. As queens are being added, you see 1 queen already here, a 2nd queen being trained here. Nerchio still has not established any gas. Nerchio perhaps going to be going into a very heavy roach push in just a moment. And if Monchi scouts this out, I gotta believe he's going to be going to utilize those immortals. Immortals very effective, especially if you can somewhat limit your ramp. What Monchi will want to do most likely is place down 1 force field, and by limiting or placing 1 force field here, by limiting how many roaches can actually take down the gateway, 2 to 3 immortals on the high ground, plus the help of this photon cannon and some stalkers, will not allow a bust anytime soon. But it's going to be up to Monchi to discover this and lay down some pressure, and a pressure he will be applying. Stargate, very effective at doing that harassment, but there's not very much of a follow-up harassment there. Protoss players don't really go carriers. They sometimes go mothership. but it's not going to be as effective as he needs it to be. Monchi does have that Stargate now coming into play. We'll see if it is going to be a Void Ray or Phoenix. I can see both at this time as a Stalker now makes its way down. Phoenix now coming into play. We are going to see Overlords in the air. Still, Nerchio does not have that many Queens on the field. I am really surprised that he doesn't have that many Roaches either. So far, he is just getting that Roach War, and he is still taking his time at Tier 1. And Monchi isn't really punishing Nerchio as of yet. Nerchio still pretty much able to do everything he wants to do. You're going to see Zerglings now run down the ramp, cut around the corner here. Zerglings now trying to see that there isn't a third base. And Nerchio pretty much knows that he's gotten away with setting up that third base. He's going to get in a lot of drones. He's going to have a very strong economy. Stalker of Monchi just battling it up here. Going to be able to take down multiple Zerglings. Not quite sure why Monchi didn't do that stutter step a little bit more. Gotten some free Zerglings. We are going into a robotics facility on the low ground. We should see a Robo Bay as well. And then we'll see what the follow-up play is here. Creep tumors are being spread by Nerchio. Nerchio just looking absolutely dominant so far, taking the tier 2. And right now, Zerg just has a license to do whatever he wants. 61 drones in the field. 8 now going up to, four more Roaches. A lot of Overlords now being added. And unless Monchi does a very large attack soon, I can't imagine what's going to happen. We are going into 5 Phoenixes, though. Alright, so this is a lot of Phoenixes without a lot of Stalkers or anything else that can really take down those units. Perhaps Monchi thinks that his opponent, Nerchio, is going to be going into very, very heavy Mutalisk. The Phoenixes are simply going to fly by. There is an Overseer. The Overseer is it going to get taken down is the question. There it goes. Oh, down to 15 hit points. Oh, the hit points regenerate as it... Oh, that was a huge mistake, as it did tip the hand. There is a Queen and now coming in. Overlord is going to get shot down. A second Overlord could get shot down as well. There are a whole bunch of Spore Crawlers here. Take down the Queens. Take down something else. Don't just shoot after these Overlords. The Queen should get taken down here. Yes, there is that one Overlord. It is going to get taken down. But wow, Monchi, who had such a dominant position with these Phoenixes, is not really going to be able to do much of anything. These Phoenixes need to get away. There is a Queen nearby now, and Monchi tipped his hand and didn't even get an Overseer out of it. The Overseer was able to get the proper scouting, and what a horrible mistake here as Monchi tries to get back into this game. Alright. Overlords are here. It could perhaps get some easy damage. No, it looks... Oh, one Phoenix, very low hit point Phoenix. Another Overlord does go down. This is a little bit of a dangerous flyby here, right on top of a Spore Crawler. It looks like the Spore Crawler... Oh, beautiful micro there, ensuring that the Phoenixes only lost shields pretty much, as the Phoenixes now backing off. There are a lot of Roaches here, a couple free Overlords here and here. They're not going to get picked out. Instead, the Phoenixes just trying to get that map control. Gonna do a good job. But Nerchio is sitting at 157 supply. So far, we are taking a look at 26 Roaches, though. Roaches, perhaps one of the most inefficient units in terms of supply. Zealots and Stalkers now trying to battle it in here. The Roaches do have Glio Reconstitution. Units are going to get picked up. The Stalkers, there's only a few Stalkers here, so I'm not sure what's going to happen. The Zealots could easily just turn around and finish the job. Once again, taking down more units, and Nerchio still training up a lot of Roaches. Now, Zerg units really seem to be extra powerful when there's no true counter to them. They have good DPS, they're very tanky, but they're also they can also be very fragile. Once those Zerglings get surrounded, the Zealots are going to be able to make a nice wall here. Here we go. Here's an engagement. Roaches trying to engage, but once more Roaches with that very fast movement speed off of creep, able to come in from around the corner once more. Proxy pylons being placed now. Zealots now trying to warp in as well. Here we go. The Colossi, they need to back off. In comes the Roaches. The Roaches trying to focus down the Colossi. The Colossi trying to... Oh, that is an absolute destructive power there, as the Phoenixes were unable to slow down any of these Roaches. A new Colossus comes over. Stalkers trying to finish the job here. Nerchio's taking down multiple Stalkers as the Zealots now try to chase. The Zealots do not have charge. And who has lost more? Nerchio definitely on the losing end in this battle, but he's just continuing to pump up more and more roaches. And you cannot talk about the Protoss player or Protoss being just too OP in this matchup. Nerchio has gone heavy, heavy roach, and that strategy has now been countered. Those phoenixes just simply flying around the map. Are they going to find an easy spore crawler taking down? Yes, easy drones as well. In comes a queen, or rather the queen, and now comes over to defend, as we now see more mass roach. Nerchio utilizing these roaches very, very well to gain map control, but he hasn't done any real damage. He hasn't need to, since Monchi is still behind in bases, as here we go, in comes some force field of roaches, trying to split them up, and that means 5 or 6 roaches were simply out of position, unable to get any damage. Now the Phoenix has come back in, making sure that there is no retreating roaches, but not enough energy to really pick up all of those units here. And now Monchi taking the economic advantage. Nerchio down to 141 compared to Monchi's 152. Or sorry, 143 versus 152. Alright, Stargate hasn't really shown anything else yet. This was a 7-gate Stargate play with the Robo. I really wish Monchi would have a little bit more of a follow-up plan here. He needs to do something. The Stalkers need to engage. There are spine crawlers already being added, but trying to take or trying to initiate a fight on creep is ever, ever dangerous. Colossi getting in some easy shots here. Down goes some roaches. In comes some spore crawlers. And here we go. Where are the force fields? No force fields. The Colossi may get surrounded here. No fungal growth. No, yes, a little bit of fungal growth, but so hard to see on a green Protoss. More and more units are getting damaged. The more expensive units are getting taken down. Still one Colossus left. The Zealots now being forced to retreat as they went simply way too far in. Spore Crawlers now looking to engage as well, but the Phoenixes are being very careful to back off. One Queen does get taken down. The production building is going to hurt just a little bit, as Monchi perhaps didn't trade as efficiently there, but he is still in good position. Mass Stalkers now looking to come in on the field. And Stalkers 1-0 upgrades against Roaches 2-0 upgrades. I've said this in the past. Roaches scale better with upgrades than Stalkers. Since a 0-0 Stalker versus a 0-0 Roach, 3-3 Roaches are better than 3-3 Stalkers. If you don't know, take a look at my upgrade tutorial. I think that was over like a year and a half ago now, or perhaps a year ago. And all we see now are Phoenixes still flying around the map. Monchi 158. If you take a look at the army compositions, yes, Monchi's army is almost double in size, more than double in terms of gas, and this is all because of those inefficient roaches. Once more, Phoenix is still flying around. When you wonder about inefficient roaches, think about this. The Phoenix costs a total of 250 resources compared to the roaches 100. Here we go, battling it up. The roaches engaging on creep, doing ever so well. More fungal growths are going down. Infestors now being shot out of the sky. Roaches trying to push their way in. And the roaches dealing a lot of damage to the Colossi. The Colossi does get taken down here. Roaches doing a great job as both sides are still fighting. Now, we are going to see spine crawlers continue to engage and fight here. Another infestor does get taken down. Spore Crawler is going to get taken down here as the Roach is still trying to back off. A lot of Roaches engaging Stalkers. So powerful in this mass number, but they do not have Blink. It's really been coming down to the Colossi, dealing the majority of the splash damage and letting the Stalkers finish, or excuse me, letting the Stalkers finish it off, and Nerchio giving a you are really skilled. So a tip of a hat to Monchi, staying on two base Protoss. I know a lot of players are like, why stay on 2 bases? You know, 2 base pressure, 2 base rush. And Nerchio just needed to hold out a little bit longer. The main base pretty much mined out. The natural expansion almost mined out, or getting there as well. And if Nerchio was able to fend off the attack, perhaps transition a little bit better, and getting in some Corruptors, as Corruptors can shut down those Phoenixes, it may have been a different battle, but wow. Monchi getting perhaps a little bit too many Roaches, relying on Roaches, and getting punished for it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.